technology. Better, stronger, faster.
Welcome with the May edition of Digging Up Positivity. Slowly the world is recovering. All over the world we can see events starting up, and I look forward to the moment I can travel again and see my friends abroad. This episode we have several events, both virtual and classic, raising money for charity, furry awards, a lot of meerkats, and a special featurette, Pawsry, the driving force behind Global Furry Television, a staple from the Asian furry fandom. But first, let's see what we have done for charity this month. AnthroExpo. This year they held their convention on a virtual island because of their theme, Shipwrecked. But besides neat little places to explore and an awesome convention stream to watch on the central place on the island, they raised $1,190.52 for the Asian Mental Health Collective, and $1,127.52 was voluntarily donated by their most kind guests to keep their own organization up and running. In the Netherlands, several kind critters made sure that Lynn, a well-known member who loves all kinds retro, got the funds to get a new laptop by raising $1,724, making sure she can continue to be creative and keep in touch with her friends. Adler the Eagle and his beloved Blaze raised $5,289 for the Cincinnati Tradition Drum and Bugle Corps while streaming the classic Banjo-Tooie for the Nintendo 64. An incredibly long stream that had so many fun moments, and in the end the result is just amazing. Another great example on how the fandom can come together in support of one of their own. Over $5,000 was raised for Shep for her new wheelchair, greatly increasing the quality of her life. I wish her much love, and I hope that she will make much more artwork and fursuits in the near future. And with everything recovering, we also have the classic FurCon returning. Our friends down under enjoyed FurDU, and they did not support one, but two charities. $4,308.95 was split between the Fresh Start Rescue and the NSW Rural Fire Service and Donation Fund. This month, the results of this year's Ursa Major Awards are in. And amongst the winners, we have some previous guests from Digging Up Positivity, like Rick Griffin, who won with his comic House Pets, and Ash Coyote, who won Best Anthropomorphic Non-Fiction Work of 2020 with the documentary The Fandom. And while this can be viewed online, there's also a Blu-ray version available, and if you want to have a chance on getting a free copy, please respond to this video saying that you are interested, and between these comments I will pick a random winner. It will be announced at the end of next month's video. I really do recommend to check out the rest of the nominees and winners of this excellent award show. Maybe you will be introduced in some amazing work you haven't seen before. Speaking of awards, another staple in the fandom is Papa Bear's Good Furry Awards. Every year, several outstanding members of the fandom get nominated, and I was humbled to find out I was nominated as well. Past winners are Ash Coyote and Tony Barrett, also known as Dogbomb. Both wins are very well deserved. Votes can still be cast on their website till the end of the month, so be quick, like a meerkat chasing a nice scorpion. And as a meerkat, of course, I followed the adventures of the Whiskers family with Meerkat Manor. They will actually return. This time focusing on the next generation with Meerkat Manor Rise of the Dynasty. It's a BBC America co-production with Oxford Scientific Series and will run weekly starting June the 5th on BBC America. But on AMC Plus you can see the first episode this very weekend on May 28th. Speaking of adorable meerkats, in the Dutch Amersfoort Zoo, 3 little meerkats are born. After 2 decennia they finally had a good match between the couple, and this is the wonderful result. Things are going well and I can't wait to see them. In April, Unicho uploaded a short animation she made at Sheridan College about a bunny traveling to the big city in the hopes of becoming a successful musician, but faces the challenges of adapting to her new home. The gentle atmosphere combined with the soft colors really makes this animation stand out. And of course, the link is in the description or at the top sign right there. And one of the things that I do love about animation is when the animators or the team behind it are starting to think outside the box. This was one of the reasons why I loved Into the Spider-Verse. Not just because the story was well paced, the soundtrack was pumping, but the animation style and combinations thereof just struck me. And I was very pleasantly surprised by the Mitchells versus the Machines. The more I started to look into the movie, the more Easter eggs, little nods and all the other things I found. And Netflix Film Club has released a few little videos where they show how they worked towards the style that they did. And before you start looking for all sorts of videos pointing out all the references and Easter eggs, be warned that you will wear out your pause button, because they are everywhere, from the design to the robots to the shape of the Paul building down to the name itself. One of the games that I played throughout my life is Super Mario, from the NES version and yes, even the Atari 2600 one, all the way up to my trusty Switch. But I did not realize how rich and tumultuous the history of the voice behind Bowser was. Thomas Game Dogs released a lovely video behind Bowser's voice detailing it all. Did you know that Bowser's voice in Smash Bros is purely animal sound, while in other games he speaks fluent English? Of course, the fluent English part is not done by animals, come to think of it, but his current voice actor has had no prior experience other than a Scooby-Doo voicemail, not even joking, but he's doing a great job. If you want to learn more about the history behind Bowser's voice, I do recommend you to check out the link in the description and of course the little eye up in the corner. This month with Digging Up Positivity, we have a special guest from the East, Pawsry, leader and mastermind behind Global Furry Television. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Tavo, it's beautiful to be here with you. I really look forward to this interview, man.
We can see that it's a little bit unscripted right now. But how did you get to know of the furry fandom?
Back then in 2016, I was in the mascot fandom. So, yeah, the Rio 2016 Summer Olympics, they brought me in, and then I'm in love with mascots. I'm totally into them until 2 years later, I came across a German YouTuber called Ackerbahn. He had this video about furries reacting to Zavivaka, the FIFA 2018 World Cup's mascot. Super iconic. And ever since then, I'm like, oh, what are furries? They look like mascots, but at the same time, they don't feel like it. So I just Googled and oh my gosh, this is where I want to be. Then I'm here, ta-da! 3 years later.
It's funny how time flies, right? When you're having fun.
I know, right?
Yeah. So, you are in a unique position. You're from the East, and we also have the furry fandom from the West. not just when it comes down to like expression with the styles of fursuits and style of artwork. Are there any big differences between like the eastern groups of the furry fandom and the western groups of the furry fandom that really caught your eye?
What really caught my eye was when um, I'm contacted by my Chinese audiences through GFTV's Chinese channel that in the Western interpretation of personas is different from that of the Eastern furry fandom. In the West, furries interpret personas as part of themselves, is one with the human counterpart. But in the Eastern furry fandom, like most predominantly in East Asia, China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, in this whole region, the persona is a separate entity from the human counterpart, in which the relationship I'm not so clear about that because I didn't ask for more detail, but the striking one was the persona is separate from the human counterpart in the East. Like that's
Okay.
what they call the kimono style.
Besides the way they look at personas, any other things like when I'm in Europe, when I went to America, I found out that the furcons were very different from each other. On the surface, they were kind of the same, but the deeper you looked into it, the more different it was. And I really look forward to go to, let's say, a furcon in either China or Japan or in Singapore. What are the biggest differences between those?
Okay, now you're putting furcons in a context. It's way easier for me. Okay, we had our reporters in China go to Super Furry Fusion, the largest furry convention in China. The furcon who never releases their attendee count, so we never know how big it is.
Hmm.
Over there, it's wholly different, totally different. In Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Taiwan, in this area, our FurCon format follows much more closely with the Western kind. But for China, it's completely different. In
Hmm.
Super Furry Fusion, it's not it's not a lot of different rooms for panels, not different rooms for um how do you call that? Um dealer stands and stuff. Everything is in one single place. The main is a huge convention room with stages in front, the dealer stand in the middle, in in some corners, there is the Fursuit lounge, the headless lounge,
Hmm.
and for panel wise, I'm not so sure, but this is generally what our reporters see. The dealer stand, in fact, is so big, it extends outside of the convention space, even in the hallway. There's this huge row of dealers.
Seeing all this in the furry fandom, reporting about all those sites, do you have a bucket list, like a list of wishes that you still want to do?
I definitely do have a lot of them. If I go through every single one of them, I'm pretty sure the show would, let's just say, break your hand in the editing table.
Hmm.
But my bucket list would definitely be countries I want to go. I want to go to South Africa. I want to meet, who's that? Who's that green wolf? Ivic
Ivik?
wolf,
Yeah.
Scratch. I want to meet them. Like, I don't know if I have South African friends there, but I just want to meet them. Another one, I want to go to China. China itself,
Hmm.
mainland China. Yeah, because I've never went to a communist country before. Secondly, the furry fandom there, GFTV has a huge presence there. I want to meet my fans.
Hmm.
Yeah, also want to go to Tokyo for curry rice, Korea for what's that called? Bulgogi. And of course, I want to go to Europe. I want to go to the Netherlands to see you.
I'd be happy to drive you around in the Netherlands and show you the sights, and we have a couple of very nice, cozy, small furry gatherings as well.
Yeah, I'm really aware of that. Scouring through the internet for fur meets, then putting them on our spreadsheet.
Oh yes, and with that, I would like to let our audience know that you were one of the driving forces behind getting all that data done for the charities being raised by all the furry conventions of last year. Your help has been amazing for that.
I mean, anytime, like I didn't okay, first and foremost, I did not expect you to actually say that in the first place. I didn't know you'll be used over there, and I'm really grateful to be able to be a part of your convention charities project.
Yes, the Furry Charity Index. And it is thanks to
Correct.
you that it has become that complete. The fun part is that thanks to the Furry Charity Index, I also got into contact with the South African furs and with some of the furs from Southeast Asia for the fact that a lot of Western websites and YouTube channels were just focusing about, well, basically the Western fandom, and we're kind of forgetting about the furcons that were not in America and Europe.
Oh yeah. It just sounds like the news organizations in
Hmm.
the furry fandom. Like nothing is in Asia. In Asia, there I do see some pilot projects, but they didn't take off, or they just are in obscurity. And like from what we see, like we got Dog Patch Press, we got Flera being one of the two dragon heads of this news reporting operation in the furry fandom.
Hmm.
They are all in Europe and the US, and I'm like, there's nothing in Asia, so why not? I feel that niche, like having GFTV.
Yeah, and for
It's
that, a lot of people do look in your direction, including me, to get a glimpse of what's going on the other side. And with that, with you, with having this global view of this furry fandom, I would like to ask you, do you have any recommendation for new people in the fandom?
Hey, it's easy. It's easy. First, be sure to go for the small furry groups. As you know, like if you go in a small furry group where there's a lesser amount of people, the interaction will be way more easier. You'll be way more intimate and warmer as
Hmm.
in contrast to when you go to Anthrocons Telegram chat with over thousands of furries, which I'm not gonna guess how much, and that will be more difficult. That is one. Secondly, do ask for permission. Permission is really important, especially when it comes to fursuits. As much as these fursuits are super cute like Thabo, uh, so ask them for permission before you hug, or you touch them, or you pull their tail, or do whatever.
Hmm.
Ask for permission first, and also it's more important if you are a videographer or photographer. In furry fandom, a lot of people are not comfortable having their faces shown on camera, on screen. So you have to make sure that you ask permission
Yeah,
on
and
that
if
report.
you're online in Telegram groups or on social media like Twitter or Facebook, and you contact someone, start with, "Hey, hello, can I talk to you, or are you busy?" You know, asking for permission for things like that, I think that would be appreciated too.
Unless if the person in the description clearly stated, or he or she or they, and in some way stated that their DMs are open, then okay,
Yeah.
you can just text them, ask them, hi, how are you, how's your day, and stuff. Ask small little questions. Don't jump in and get too comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Start small and build up from the bottom. That is create stepping stones, little stepping stones for the two of you to develop your new friendship.
And with that, I would like to thank you very much for being here with us. And of course, every month we work together. You're in the credits pretty much every month. And it's really that I do hope that more people will discover Global Furry Television, because it really grants that unique, universal look on the furry fandom that is really something that makes you stand apart in your organization.
Thank you, Tabo.
Thank you so much for sticking with us till the very end of the video. I'm happy to announce that I'm now working together with the excellent people behind artworkt.com, and soon you will be able to get your paws on some exclusive Tabo merchandise, ranging from lovely pins, t-shirts with designs I made myself, but also excellent artists such as Silver Fox. Seriously, that guy made the best drawing of Tabo ever! One of the reasons I chose for Artwork T is because besides excellent products and a proper customer service, they also raised over $80,000 for various charities so far. But I couldn't have done this without you all, and a special thanks goes out to my channel sponsors, both on Patreon and Subscribestar. Cosmic with a K, Els Dekkers, Falconeo, Hanzana, Ishnula, Hitako, Tantru McNally, Taros and Scorchaser. We will return on June 26th. So far, thank you all so much, and of course, all the hugs.